All right, should we begin?
Let's do it.
Yep. Oh, wait.
Io.
Never mind. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Eating Good podcast, the podcast where we try different food establishments in the Columbus area. I'm Oscar.
I'm David.
And I'm Sam.
This week, we don't have Marisol, but we do have a returning guest, Yahoska.
Hey guys, I'm back.
And we have Isabella in the room.
Hello.
Ooh. She's back to start her second year at college.
Welcome back, Isabella. Welcome back, Yahoska.
So this week, we decided to walk over to the restaurant we went to today. I'll let David take it away.
Yeah, I guess we all decided my pick. No, so there's one cafe that opened up recently, and we're like, all right, let's meander over. It was called El Carajillo Cafe, I believe. So a little background on them is I believe they started as a food truck called Trading in Coffee. But then they got this new location in, I believe it's the Italian Village?
Yeah, it's Italian Village.
And they've been open since Cinco de Mayo. It's like a Mexican cafe bar with food, so a restaurant too. So yeah, they quench all your thirsts, feed you all the foods, and it's a nice condensed menu. So they have a couple of options, and I think we pretty much went through every option for dinner.
Yeah, we went through all their dinner entrees.
So we'll definitely give you guys a breakdown on that. But I was like, you know what? We went to a taqueria recently, but I'm feeling Mexican food. And I'll talk about my dish and why I chose the restaurant a little bit later on. But
all right. So do we want to start with our entree appetizer?
Yes. We
ended up ordering their ceviche, which has shrimp marinated in freshly squeezed key lime with sliced red onions, tomatoes, cilantro, salt, and pepper served with chips. The menu also says it comes with mango. Our server told us that sometimes it comes with mango. Today it did not. So we got to go back to try with the mango.
Mm-hmm.
But what do we think about the ceviche?
I really liked the ceviche. I was surprised at how much I liked it actually because it was only shrimp, not like Peruvian ceviche where it's like kind of raw fish. So I wasn't sure how it would amount up to that, but it was actually pretty good. I guess my worry was that the shrimp wouldn't be tender enough, but the lime juices definitely broke it down and made it tender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually just had Peruvian ceviche yesterday, and this definitely is a little different, but it was still really good. The one thing I didn't like about it is it had a ton of pepper, like a ton of pepper. And I felt like that flavor kind of stuck out to me. Wasn't my favorite, but overall, it was a really good dish.
I really liked it. It was really good. I like how lemony it
Yeah.
was.
Mm-hmm.
And it tasted like it was like fresh lemon juice.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that.
It's definitely juicy.
Juicy.
Lots of
Juicy.
There was not a spoon in sight at this restaurant. I was trying to scoop up the juices, so I had to make do with tortilla chips.
That's true. A spoon would have helped.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the meal, me and David slurped it up with the straw.
Ew, it was so gross.
It was not the greatest sight.
It was good.
I had to do it for the bit.
I'm sure it tasted good, but watching it get sucked up the straw was like, I don't know, it
No.
disturbed me. It disturbed me.
We went at the same. It was crazy.
Well, and then one of you had definitely backwash come back out
That
of the
was
straw.
David.
And I was like, oh.
It wasn't backwash. I just stopped sucking, and gravity did its thing.
Yeah, but you should have sucked it all the way in. Now
Yeah.
let it fall back in. Now I was like, I
Well-
can't even drink any now.
I pulled the straw away, and then like I was still slurping.
Yeah, that's what you did to my margarita. So I was like, I'm gonna do it to this juice. You dribble back in my margarita. But
Like
anyways,
payback.
Okay.
I do appreciate how thinly or like how small the shrimp was cut because it helps spread it out. So I felt with every bite I had tomato and shrimp. There was never a bite that didn't have shrimp.
yeah, because on the photos online that I was looking at, it was like the whole shrimp. So I was kind of worried about that. But then when it came out all like chopped up, it was a better delivery.
It was a good ratio.
Yes.
Mhm. Bella, do you have anything to say about the shrimp?
It was really good.
You heard it here, folks. Really good.
All right, let's do ratings.
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
I'm also going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, let's do 8s across the board.
I agree, an 8.
Sweet. See, because I would say it's definitely better than like when you go to like a party and there's like Mexican ceviche, like that shrimp kind of cocktail thing.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely had more limey flavor. Maybe I'm a sodium boy, but I could use a little salt, like a little table salt. But I think it was definitely, for a restaurant, it hit. It hit.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it was interesting that it was on their appetizer menu because...
Entree.
Yes. It was on their entree menu, but it was definitely more like an appetizer. Like I couldn't imagine. I could imagine eating that by myself.
I could imagine myself eating that by itself.
Yeah, it's
But
definitely a good portion size for
Mhm.
one person.
Yeah.
And even
Yeah.
to share. You
But
know?
I'd probably need another so now I'm getting mixed up. But I would definitely need an appetizer with it to feel fully
Full.
Like
satiated.
fuller.
Yeah.
Oh, I could definitely see that hitting like on a nice hot day.
Oh
Go
yeah.
with that.
Just drinks and ceviche.
Mm-hmm.
I think it needed a little bit of spice to it, like a little bit of a kick.
Yeah, I wouldn't have hated that.
No, me neither.
I definitely would have liked it as well, but
Mhm.
I could see it catering more to a general audience.
Yeah,
more
like
to
me.
the American palate.
I was also surprised that they didn't have any hot sauce on the table.
True.
I feel like most Mexican restaurants have it.
We were sitting outside, so maybe.
Maybe they don't put it outside.
Mhm.
But then again, they
Like,
could.
She
if-
could have brought
she could have
it.
brought it if that's a thing they do. Maybe they don't have hot sauce unless you ask for it.
Yeah, we didn't
Yeah.
ask.
I was too shy to ask.
Oh.
Yeah, and you had a broken cup, and you were too shy to ask for a
It's
not
fine.
broken
You're
cup.
like, I'm just not gonna drink water.
I think the water inside was fine. It's just that it was leaking
It was like
all over the
licking.
table.
Yeah, I think my glasses got wet.
It was funny. She was like, I think my glass is broken. And then she's trying to squeeze it as hard as possible. I was like, what are you doing? You're going to break it.
I would have done the same thing to see how much it squeezes
Yeah.
out.
Well,
But it
yeah.
was like a hard cup, so like you couldn't really squeeze it.
All right. So let's talk about the other entrees. Who wants to start?
I can start. All right. So I went with El Carajillo's pork chops, which were 2 smoked pork chops covered in green salsa, served with rice, beans, lettuce, sour cream, pico de gallo, and tortillas. So definitely when I was looking at a restaurant to pick, definitely the ceviche was the main reason that popped out to me, because normally they also have it in a tuna version. So I would have liked to try that, but I was like, the shrimp ceviche hit the spot. But the other thing was these pork chops. Because growing up, my mom used to make chuletas ahumadas, and they hit every time. And she would make this green salsa with them. She would make them for dinner, and then we'd have them left over the next day for breakfast. So I was like, oh, I haven't had those in a minute. It's not like my go-to meal at home, but whenever they're there, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I love this meal. So I was like, let me try their version. And I will say they delivered. The smoked pork chops were as flavorful as I remember them. Personal bias here. I like my mom's salsa better. But this one was very tasty. It was very lime forward too, which I think helped cut the saltiness of the pork chops, which I think really, really balanced that out. And for it being white rice, it had a good flavor to it. I think the black beans also had like a little cheese drizzle on them. And those, I'm a big fan of refried beans, so those hit the spot. And she all know me. I love lettuce and tomatoes. So not just that was just a little whatever. But the tortillas were really tasty too. They were more like floury, I think.
Yeah, they were flour
Flour.
tortillas.
But like not doing too much. I don't know. They were nice and thin. They had a good flavor to them too. And do you think they were homemade?
Maybe, now that you mention
Yeah,
it, how
'cause
thin they were. But they also had like a perfect shape, so I don't know.
That's true.
They didn't look homemade.
Maybe
yeah.
not. But they were perfectly steamed or whatever they were. And I think it all really balanced well together. One of my favorite parts of eating chuletas like that is sucking on the bones. You guys probably peeped me sucking on them bones. I was about to make a bone broth when I went home. But for $14, I think it was a great portion. I love chuletas. And I should just buy some and make some, but when they're made already for $14, I'm definitely gonna have to come back. So if I had to give this a rating, I'd probably give it an 8.5. I think I liked it a little bit more than the ceviche,
Wow.
but mom's would be a perfect 10. Just saying.
Yeah.
I did try a piece of your pork, and it kind of tastes, which like I know it's the same animal, but it tasted like ham to me.
Yeah, and it's like got like that thickness to it.
Yeah. But it's
And then
just
the fatty
interesting
part,
because
oh my gosh.
when I've made pork chops, it doesn't taste like ham. It tastes like pork chops.
So that's where the smoked part comes in, I think. Because
gotcha.
it's, chuletas amadas are so good because of that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's pretty much just ham on the bone. Kinda.
Okay. Makes sense.
And then the part that I got had a really fatty part to it. And that kind of reminded me of just like you said, like bacon, kind of like a, but since it was a bigger cut, it was almost like a pork belly type thing. Which obviously a different cut, but.
All right. Who wants to talk about their entree next?
I can talk about what I ordered. So I got their burrito dinner, which was a grilled tortilla filled with cheese, rice, beans, and topped with cheese. Lots of cheese. Served with lettuce, pico de gallo, and sour cream. And I got shrimp for my protein. This was, I felt, a very standard restaurant burrito where they cut it down the middle and you're expected to eat it with a fork and knife because it was just covered in cheese on top, which I did appreciate, but I wasn't going to pick it up with my hands.
Yeah, because it was like melted cheese.
Yeah.
Not like shredded cheese.
Yes. But yeah, I just felt like it was a very standard burrito. Like there was nothing special about it. I mean, the shrimp, that's a little different, but even the shrimp didn't pop out a lot. I did like appreciate how many full shrimps they put in there, but you know, if I'm really feeling a burrito, I'm just gonna go to Chipotle. I'm gonna give this 5 out of 10. Not a bad burrito. If you really want it, go for it, but it's not doing anything new.
Okay.
I can go next. I had the chicken fajita quesadilla, which is a grilled tortilla filled with cheese, bell peppers, and onions, served with lettuce, sour cream, and pico de gallo. I think the food was pretty standard, just like Oscar said, nothing special. It was really big though. It was a big portion, which
Yes.
I loved because I was really hungry. But I don't know, like, yeah, it's nothing special. Solid 7, I'd say.
Okay. That's a better rating than I thought you would give because at the table you made a comment that like it wasn't super good. So I was like, oh,
But I was
yeah,
hungry,
she's
so it
about
kind of
to
hit the
roast it.
spot. I don't know. I'm not going to give it a 5, but...
But I did look over at your plate. It was clean.
Dude.
God, you were the first one done. I
Yes.
think.
She ate the fucking napkins, bro.
I had gone to the gym before we ate out, so I was like
True.
starved. All I had was like an applesauce after the gym. So I was hungry. I was ready to eat.
Okay, I can read mine next. I got Garfield's special. I don't know how to say that word. Garfield's special included a bed of rice, grilled chicken, and chorizo covered in cheese dip, served with tortillas, lettuce, sour cream, pico de gallo, and beans, and I chose chicken for my protein. This was a good plate that I felt like is a plate someone would make you like at their kitchen. If you were at someone's house, this is what they would serve you. It's just like a classic plate. Beans, rice, some chicken shredded on top. It did have that cheese dip that I wasn't the biggest fan of, so if it didn't have that, I think I would have liked it more. It was just like too cheesy and almost kind of like maybe artificial tasting. I don't know if you thought that, Oscar, because I think it was the same cheese that was on your burrito.
No, I didn't think it that. I think just because it didn't have too much cheese on it, like it was just the right amount where it wasn't covering the whole burrito and just cheese flavor, but it wasn't so little that I wasn't tasting it in every bite.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I was tasting it in most of my bites, and I didn't like it that much, so I wish it wasn't there. But the black refried beans were probably my favorite part of this. I really like those beans. I could eat a whole big bowl of them, but I just love beans in general.
Yeah.
Can you confirm?
And I like that this did have the chorizo sprinkled, so I got to taste their chorizo. It did taste good, kind of like just a standard chorizo. But I think if I went back, I'd get the same thing and just get no cheese dip on it. So rating, I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
I do have to say, your meal looked a lot better than mine. Or a lot more appetizing than mine.
Well, since yours was a
I
quesadilla,
panicked.
it just looked like a tortilla because all the stuff's on the inside.
And
But-
the tortilla was soggy.
Soggy. Mine did come with flour tortillas on the side as well. I did really like them. They kind of remind me of like Chipotle flour tortillas.
I could see that.
And Chipotle is my favorite flour tortillas. I normally don't like grocery store bought flour tortillas. I don't like very much.
And these ones, I would say, even had like they were tastier, I think.
Yeah. Like they definitely, wherever they get these from, it's somewhere special.
Yeah.
Bella, do you want to talk about yours?
So I got the burrito bowl, which is a bed of rice with beans and topped with lettuce, pico de gallo, corn, sour cream, and cheese. And for my protein, I chose chicken. I also thought it was pretty standard, like your guys' meals, but it was still pretty good and I really liked it. But I think if I wanted a bowl, I would just go to Chipotle. But this one, I would still give it a 7 out of 10. It was pretty good.
Okay, the last thing is our drinks.
I can go first. I had the Paloma, which had tequila, and that's all I know. Because the menu didn't have the ingredients of the drinks.
Yeah, it was just
so I'm not exactly sure what else it had.
Did she say grapefruit soda or was it more like grapefruit juice?
I think it was more of a soda.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was probably made with grapefruit jarrito.
Oh, maybe. And like some lemon, because it was like lemony too. It was really good. I like that they asked if we wanted tajin rim or salt. I picked tajin. That was great. Solid 9 for a drink. It was really good.
Nice. So I got the cantarito, which came in the signature cantarito cups, which are like clay cups. This one was painted with cute little flowers on it, so that was really nice. And I didn't know what drink would be inside of it, so I asked the server, and it was essentially a paloma. So it had grapefruit soda, tequila, lime, but it also had orange juice in it, which I like orange juice, so I thought it was a good change up of the drink. The only thing not that I didn't like this, but since it did have orange juice, it kept making me think it was a breakfast drink. So I think I'd probably only order that if I go there for like brunch now, just because I think it'd be good for breakfast, kind of a different take instead of having a mimosa. I'd get that. I really liked it. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, there's a place in Mexico called, it's El Cantarito, El Güero or something like that. And it's an hour away from Guadalajara. And they have the best cantaritos ever. They have like live bands and everything. It was a fun time when I went 3 years ago.
Next spot.
Next spot. quick little flight.
Have you guys ever seen the ones on like the reels or whatever, and it's just a big old cantarito, and it's like a whole bottle of like sometimes 2 bottles of tequilas, and they're like,
yeah, that's where I went.
Here, is that? It was like something like that.
Yeah.
Like here's 25 straws. Have fun.
Seriously.
Have a good day.
They poured like half the bottle of
crazy.
tequila in just one drink.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
You gotta have a lot of friends, or clear your schedule.
Yeah.
So I ended up ordering El Carajillo, which was came with espresso with liquor 43. So it was like an espresso martini, but in a different cup. I would say, so I'm looking at their Instagram and they have a picture of the drink. And the one thing I noticed right away is mine had way more foam than what they have on the picture.
Yeah, yours had a ton of foam.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely felt like I didn't have a lot of drink. Like I was sipping it very slowly because I didn't want to finish it all really quickly. But other than that, it was a really good drink. Like I said, very similar to an espresso martini. I'd order it again.
And just hope they don't put as much foam.
Yeah, I hope they don't put as much foam. Please. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Maybe they were like, it's way too late. You can't have that much coffee. Let's give them a hella foam.
Coffee. Not the alcohol.
Right. Oh.
David.
I guess I got a drink too. I got a large jalapeno lime margarita. So it was on the rocks, so it was more liquidy. And there was chunks of jalapeno, lots of seeds. I think I accidentally swallowed one and it hit the back of my throat. And it really burned for like 5 minutes. Like my uvula was on fire. So that was cool. Tasted like lime. I think I do prefer frozen margaritas. I think that was an option, but I guess I just ordered and like didn't think about asking. Anyways.
I like not frozen margaritas better.
I like frozen because it makes my brain hurt. It reminds me of my childhood. It was, yeah. I mean, I guess it was just like a standard margarita. I feel like I don't eat out at Mexican restaurants enough to like really compare it to too many that are not frozen. But hit the spot. The tahini rim was cool.
Okay.
I ate all of that.
Rating.
7.
Yeah.
Hit the spot. That's what I wanted. No, not what I wanted. Obviously, I wanted frozen, but good for on the rocks.
Okay, cool.
I'd get it again. Okay.
Okay. Bella, do you want to talk about your non-alcoholic bevy?
I got an horchata, and it was pretty good, but it was really grainy, but that was okay. It's obviously not as good as my mom's, but I don't think any of them can be. But I think I'll give it maybe like a 6 out of 10.
It was better than I thought it was going to be, actually. I liked it better than what we got at Ranchito.
Okay.
Overall, would you guys go back?
Definitely. Well, definitely to try their breakfast at least.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
and I like their chuleta. I liked it, so I would go back for sure.
I probably wouldn't go back for the dinner, but I would go back to have drinks or a coffee or for their breakfast.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're versatile.
I don't know.
Yeah, because like maybe if you guys invite
Maybe.
me, but not on my own.
Not on my own. It's too far. I think the food was like pretty standard. Nothing
Yeah.
really stuck out. But the breakfast, the chilaquiles on the menu sound really good. So maybe for breakfast?
Yeah. I definitely want to go back to try their breakfast,
Mm-hmm.
but I would in general be done to go back. I think the vibes were great.
Yes.
Yes.
I think I'd go back for drinks and ceviche in like the evenings
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and to hang out with the server because our server was dope.
Yeah, she was cool as hell.
Yeah.
And it's funny you said something like this is like a meal that if you went to someone's home, I felt like it had very homey vibes, even though we were on the back patio. Inside, even more so.
Mm-hmm.
Felt very homey.
And the patio was actually pretty cute.
Yeah.
Pretty big. Like you walk in, you're like, oh, this place is kind of small. But they had another little room for other tables. I don't know if you guys saw
Yeah.
Mhm.
on the inside, but the patio was really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like it's a nice place to hang out outside when the weather's nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, since our server said it doesn't get super busy, it's probably a good hidden gem of when we want to go outside and get drinks. 7 Cents is too busy. We could go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's definitely a good, for either dinner or if everyone's already like, oh, we could snack on something, like a starting point for the night,
Mhm.
you know? And every other like bar or whatever is right around there. So it's in a cool spot.
Cool. Well, I think that wraps up El Carajillo. We have some other food updates in general. So I've already gone back to El Ranchito Taqueria. Bella moved back down to Columbus for her sophomore year of school, and my mom came and my little brother. So I took them there, and I got to try the taco de cabeza for real this time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really good. It definitely tastes different than the asada, so definitely they didn't give it to me the first time we went on the pod, but I'm glad I got to go back so soon and try it. It was really good. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
Nice.
And an update on the horchata that I didn't really like the first time. This time it tasted different. It was less cinnamon forward, and I liked it better overall.
Nice.
So that's just my updates on Ranchito. David, where did you go?
Well, before we do that, while we're talking to Ranchito, I just want to apologize to the entire Mexican race for my last review at Ranchito.
Oh, yeah.
I mistook buche
For
for
tripas.
tripas like a fool.
Oh no.
And so I was like, dang, it's missing that intestine flavors because it wasn't intestines. It was stomach. Still tasty. Would order it again, but damn, now I want some tripas. So shout out to Cuzzo Carlos for getting me right. Reminded me that I'm a big, dumb idiot. Thank you. I needed that. All right.
It
So
was so
Public
dramatic.
apology.
It was so dramatic.
this last weekend on Saturday, or anyways, Columbus Comedy Festival was the first inaugural comedy festival here in Columbus. It's in the name. Anyways, I watched a bunch of shows on Saturday, and it was at this venue called The Key. It's kind of like a warehouse that I guess just hosts like corporate events and stuff like that. Has like a little museum in there or something. But it was less than a 5-minute walk to Jackie O's and Good Friends, which is one of the spots that my fucking great friends keep talking about how good it was and never take me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to be my own best friend and I'm going to go by myself.
You could have taken me. I've also never been there.
Oh, shit. Well, here's the other thing too was I went to a 4 p.m. show. It ended probably around like 5:45-ish. And the next show was at 7. So it was like I literally had like 30 minutes to eat and drink because I wanted to pregame because it was cheaper the drinks at Jackie O's than at the other spot. So I just texted Sam. I was like, hey, since she lives close by, if you want to pull up, whatever. She's like, oh, we just ate
At Ranchito. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, that's fair. But I was like, I'm still going to go eat. And I was feeling a burger. And I got their, whatever their burger's called.
Yeah.
Some juicy juice.
Juicy Jackie. I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
the Juicy
something like that.
Jackie.
But it's like the burger with like the mushroom. I guess it's like blended with mushrooms or something. And you know how I feel about umami. So that mushroom definitely delivered. I think it was a pretty good burger. Hit the spot. A little bit pricier than like Club 185, which was just a majestic gem. But goodness, if it didn't deliver. Their fries were, I thought I got the spiral, the swirlers or whatever they were called.
I don't
like
know.
kind of like swirly fries or something.
I don't think we had that.
Yeah, I don't think that we
Because
had that.
they had two options. They had
Spuds.
the spuds and then these other called like swirlers or something.
Oh, that might be new. I don't think that was on
Okay.
the menu.
Those were
No.
tasty. They were seasoned really well. And I got the Green Ranch.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really tasty as a dipping sauce. I still have to go try the bologna sandwich. But the burger, that as a whole with a nice Jackie O's beer, probably give like an 8.5. It definitely hit the craving, was just the juice I needed for my next comedy show. And surprise, surprise, I had only bought 2 tickets. But then Sam J was one of the headliners for the whole festival. And she had her show at 9. I was like, why are people still coming in after the other show? And I just bought a ticket then too. So I did a 3 shows in one day.
That's crazy.
But it was a nice marathon. I was laughing, my face hurt from laughing so much. But it was a good time. The first show that I went to was called Comedy on the Spot or Stand Up on the Spot, and it's this show that this guy does where people kind of like shout out prompts and the comics on stage can respond. I shouted out a few topics and they actually responded to them.
Nice.
So that'll be on YouTube. We should watch it one day because there was a guy with like cameras in the audience. So I wonder if my dumbass big old face will be in there.
Did you look at the camera and go,
Well, I'll say one of the jokes, like the one guy had a nice beard, Damon Darling. He had like a big old beard. So he's like, all right, what do y'all want to talk about? And I was like, beards. And he's like, what? What was that over there? I was like, beards, like on your face. And he's like, bro, this guy's over here mentioning beards, like us. He's like, he got pubes on his face. He had a real beard. He's like, this guy, he got a pubes on his face. And I was like, damn, he's roasting my
roasted you.
I was like, I should have shut my ass up. There's another guy who was like from this Asian dude from, I think, LA. So I was like, damn, Mexicans. And he's like, what the? He's like, yo, who said that? He's like, are you Mexican? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, damn, it'd be hilarious if he wasn't though. So
That'd be kind of messed up.
It'd be crazy. So it was fun. I threw out a couple prompts. The one guy that I went to go see the second show, I shouted a prompt and I said country music just to see what he would say. Didn't respond. That's fine though. It was a fun show.
Yeah, David had texted Emma and I on that night because he knew we were both working. He's like, what y'all doing after work? You're getting drinks? And Emma was like, I'd be down for a little drink. And then he's like, actually, never mind. Another show came up. I'm going to stay for this.
I was like, sorry, y'all. I was just like, I can't. My mom's in town. I'm going home. Sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to get y'all excited.
Okay, well, I think it's time for our favorite segment.
Guess that movie.
This week, Bella will be reading out the movie, but luckily Marisol had one prepared and was so nice to send it to Bella while Marisol's on vacation, so Bella's reading that off.
And I've never seen this movie, so I wouldn't even be able to write it. Okay, I'll start. Undercover agents go on a mission to possibly save their job. On their boss's last nerve, they're set on a job they never expected. What seemed to be a simple and quick job turned out to be their toughest challenge yet. The 2 agents, in desperation, have to change who they are to blend in. They successfully complete the mission and are back in the good graces of their boss. Sam did not get it right.
Damn, what'd she say?
21 Jump Street.
Dang, dummy. Just kidding.
I know
I
the
think
movie.
Marisol and I talked about it during lunch one time.
Cheater.
I think. I don't know. It's
Cheater.
been a while.
Oscar got it right.
Fuck. What did he say? No, I'm just kidding. Can you read it again, Bella?
Oscar got it wrong.
got it
Yeah.
wrong?
What'd she say?
So never mind.
Legally Blonde.
Ah.
Sam also got it wrong. She said 22 Jump Street.
Ah, that's fair. I was gonna text that. So it could be the other one.
Undercover agents go on a mission to possibly save their job. On their boss's last nerve, they're set on a job they never expected. What seemed to be a simple and quick job turned out to be their toughest challenge yet. The two agents, in desperation, have to change who they are to blend in. They successfully complete the mission and are back in the good graces of their boss. David got it right.
Let's go! I'm smarter than Oscar.
I already got it.
Yeah, I'm smarter
You
though.
already got it?
Just kidding.
Oh, so okay.
Yahoska got it. What the
I think my first message that I sent over, I just got the movies mixed up in my head.
Hmm.
So
But
it's
I'm-
similar to Legally Blonde.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Not really, but sort of.
No.
I don't think I've seen this movie
Then how did she get it right?
because
This-
we talked about it at lunch.
cheaters. I need a hint.
It's not animated, and I could look up the year.
Well, they all know it, so they can give me hints too.
Let's say there's it's not Legally Blonde, but there is blondes involved.
White chicks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen this movie.
Dude, you haven't?
I don't think so.
You haven't either? Oh, we have to have a movie night. This movie is so good.
It is really good.
And I miss you.
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
And
Once
I
you go
need
black, you're going to need a wheelchair.
That's crazy.
I like the part where he's like, sorry, I got a big tongue.
Ew.
And Terry Crews with a big ass tongue.
That's where that comes from?
Yeah, he's like, they're eating like oysters or something, maybe.
He's like, I'm a man. Black?
We just talked about that movie. Last episode, Marisol was going to read this movie, but she ended up not reading it. And we ended up talking about white chicks because one of the topics we discussed was movies that have people of a different race acting as the race.
Oh.
So that's crazy coincidence.
And you still got it last. Dang, you feel dumb.
Wow.
Dang, it must suck to be so
I
dumb.
like how Yahoska thought Legally Blonde, like mixed up Legally Blonde and white
With
chicks.
white chicks.
They're both blondes.
That is true.
Both of them have Reese Witherspoon, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think she's
I
in
just-
White
I don't
Chicks.
think so.
I don't know, guys.
Wasn't she the main white chick? No.
No.
And you know what's crazy? I just watched Legally Blonde 2 not too long ago.
There's a second one. Oh,
Yeah.
there's a musical too. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well. Moving on, let's get into our topics for today. Who wants to start? David, I know you have one.
All right, so let me just set the setting here. Y'all ever come home from a long day of work? You walk in, you're like, oh snap, ain't nobody home. Let me warm up this Taco Bell burrito that I have left over from yesterday when I ate Taco Bell. And then you're like, as it's getting ready to cook in the microwave, you're like, dang, ain't no one around except the dog. Let me fart real quick. And then you fart. And not even 10 seconds later, you hear the front door unlock. And you're like, dude, what the heck? And then your roommate and the person he's been seeing walk in the front door. And they start talking to you. And they're like, hey, what's up, man? How you been? I'm like, oh, shit. Maybe they won't walk over here and I don't have to call it out. And then your roommate walks right into the kitchen where you just farted. And they stop what they're saying and they're like, do you smell that? Do you smell that? I'm like, what? He goes, it smells like shit in here. And I go, what? He's like, did the dog shit in here? And I'm like, dude, I just farted 5 seconds before you guys walked in, and I thought you guys.
You admitted.
I admitted it right away, dude. I crumbled under pressure, but just the way he completely sounds like, do you smell that? I was like, maybe he smells something else. Maybe he smells the burrito I'm eating up. I was like, smell what? It smells like shit in here. Did you shit yourself? I was like, dude, I just farted. I'm sorry. Because that's okay. That's why I was like, did you shit yourself?
He
Like,
said
yeah.
that. That's crazy.
I was
Also
like,
to say,
dude, I literally just farted, and then normally I don't get embarrassed, but I was like, dude, I just farted 10 seconds before y'all walked in here. I'm sorry. I was so embarrassed. He's like, oh shit, huh?
Did the girl say anything?
Well, she was still across the room. And I think as this was going over, she walked into the kitchen too. And I was like, I'm sorry, y'all. And they're like, no, it's fine. It's your house. He's like, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. My bad. I was like, shit. I was hoping you guys were going to walk over here and notice.
you should have been like, oh yeah, I'm heating up a bean burrito.
Well, that was also part of the contest because I had 36 hours of Taco Bell brewing from the night before, dude. So you know that. I think I farted and I was like, dude, this one's putrid. And before I finished that thought, they walk in the front door. I was like, fucking of course.
gosh.
I could have held it if I knew they were going to be inside right away.
The universe was not on your
At
side.
all, dude. And I think I had a rough day that day too. So like, how was your day? Well, fucking shitty, bro. What are you... but I did think it was funny. He was like, dude, I'm glad his first thought was like, damn, the dog probably shit in here. He's like, I'm gonna have to clean it up. And I was like, what smell? What? I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like, if the dog didn't do it, did you
Did
shit
you
yourself?
shit yourself? I was like, dude, I farted. I'm sorry. Oh man. But I like.
Damn.
So for
I wonder if the dog, if it ever shits in the house, if he's gonna be like, David, did you shit?
Sylvia, did you shit in here? She just looks right at me. It was David. But I will say it was funny right away. This was my roommate and his chick, because I'm like, what did I care? And so randomly throughout the last 2 days, I just start dying laughing. I'm like, dude, of course that shit had to happen. That was too funny. Divine timing, man.
Can't a man fart in his own house in peace?
Right. That's all.
That was a good story.
Great story.
Does anyone else have topics? I have 2 for today.
I'm good.
Nothing
I'm good.
fun. Nothing to share. Yeah.
Nothing to share.
No car accidents.
No car accident.
Thank
Thank goodness. Actually, low-key, I almost hit someone the other day. I was daydreaming, just listening to my radio. And I had to brake so fast. And I had to move into the other lane.
Oh no.
Yeah,
That's
it
the
was kind of
worst.
scary. But nothing happened. So my record's still clean.
That's all that matters.
All that matters.
You didn't hear nothing.
And then at that point, I think I had to lower the volume on my on my radio because I just couldn't. I was so anxious.
Dude, that's the worst. You're like, damn. Got to turn this down so I can see better while I'm driving.
Yes, but it was great because I went to Target, and Target has the Alani's fall flavor, that witch's brew. So stock up. They're the best flavor they have.
Ooh, how would you describe that?
Yeah. What is witch's brew?
It's like a fall flavor. Reminds me of like caramel apple.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Does it say like leaves?
No.
How would you taste the leaves?
Yeah.
Wet leaves?
What
How
they
they
smell
smell?
like?
See, Oscar gets it.
No, they're
Okay.
Or like
very
spice.
caramelly, like caramel and apple. Like
No
caramel
spice
apple.
or anything?
No.
Hmm.
Just so good.
I
You
might
have to
like
try
that.
it.
I'm gonna have to give that a go. I love caramel apples.
Witch's brew. The case is so cool.
Okay.
That's an energy drink, right?
Yes,
Okay.
obsessed with those.
And you went to Target after, so even though it was kind of scary, you feel better because you're at Target.
Yeah, life was
Yeah.
good after. You know, I made it to Target, so that was
all that
fine.
matters.
Mission complete.
Nice. Bella, what are you doing?
You sound like Luna over there, just clanking around.
No, the only thing really that I got was my mom was in town this past weekend, and we went to get breakfast on Sunday, and my meal was like the Netherlands breakfast, and I called it the Neanderthal breakfast.
Oh, you did not. To the wait.
Not to the server.
Okay.
Because I think Sam was like, what are you thinking of getting? I'm like, the Neanderthal breakfast. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm in Netherlands.
It's just some berries and the fucking chunk of meat on the leg.
Anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. So my 2 topics today are reality TV adjacent. I'll start with, personally, I've been going on a lot of dates recently.
Damn.
And-
No, Sam.
Not a lot, just a couple. And the thing with first dates is you never know if you're going to get a catfish or not. But we're not here to talk about my dates. What I was thinking is the show Catfish. You guys are familiar with
I
it.
love that
Yep.
show.
Love that
I grew
show.
up on that shit, dude.
And the show Love is Blind. You guys are familiar with that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're essentially the same show if you think about it, because they're talking to someone without seeing them,
Mhm.
and then they finally meet up, and most of the times they're disappointed with how they look.
Ah, that's so sad.
I don't know. I feel like they're a little bit different. Love is Blind. At least you know what they're saying is
Right, no.
true.
They're definitely different, but like if you think about
Yeah.
it, they're very similar
Like at-
actually.
Like at the most
Yeah.
basic level,
yes,
it's like
at the
Yeah.
most basic
Yeah.
level.
I like you a lot. I do not know what you look like, but I'm willing to give it a go.
At least with Love is Blind, if you're talking to someone of the opposite gender, you know they're going to be of the opposite gender. Whereas
Yeah.
Catfish, you could be talking to a woman and then you find out it's a man or vice
Mhm.
versa.
That's
Yeah,
got to
that's
be the
heartbreaking.
worst.
Yeah.
I watched so many of those episodes, and I feel like maybe a handful of them were real.
Catfish?
Catfish.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most of them are not real. But I feel like they purposely take the ones on the show that they think aren't real.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
there's always signs. They don't want to FaceTime you or talk on the phone. They only want to text. There's always excuses for why. They like say they want to go visit you, but there's always excuses for why they can't. Stuff like that.
The saddest ones are where they're like, they fly them out or whatever, or they go to their city, and then last minute they're like, oh, something came up. I can't meet you. And it's like, bro, I spent all this money coming to your city, trying to meet you, but I'm still willing to give you a shot. And then that's when
Yes.
Neve is like, Neve and the camera guy are like, you're freaking dumb. Open
It's
your
over.
eyes. The cameraman specifically, Neve was nice.
Neve
But the,
was
the
nice.
other guy
Nice.
would be like, wake up.
I feel like Neve would still try to protect their mental health, like kind of try to get them to put together the dots of like why it's not real.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you would like talk to their family and they'd be like, we keep telling them like, it's not real.
It's
Like,
like
dude,
everyone knows but them.
this
Yeah.
gymnast does not want you.
You're not talking to Katy Perry.
Right. Shit.
Don't get that second mortgage on your house.
Right. They do. They give up everything.
It's not Willie Nelson.
It's not Willie Nelson.
I just think how sad it is though for some of those people.
Yeah.
You know, to like think you've made a connection for it to not be true.
Oh, I've always believed I am susceptible to a catfish. If they talk to me hard enough, like long enough, I could probably fall in love with text messages.
If they
that's
call me
just like middle
cute,
school.
I'm falling in love.
Yeah, but if you met them in person and they didn't look like what you expected, would you still be in love or would you cut it off?
Ooh, that's hard.
Depends on how ugly they are. Because most of the times they're ugly.
Yeah.
See, if I ever started talking to someone online, I would have to FaceTime them, like video chat them really soon. I'm like, we need a video call so that we know what we look like.
But then that kills the dream.
It kills the illusion.
Yeah. Well, like if they were the
Delusion.
same person and maybe they just look different, I'd be like,
That's happened to me.
right.
That picture's
But-
2 years old.
The picture's 5 years old, probably.
The hairline.
The hairline is not there.
But at least in your case, it's more like a Love is Blind situation where like you've only been talking to them for a couple weeks. Like these people on Catfish,
Right.
they talk for like
Years.
4
Years.
years.
Crazy.
So if it's 4 years, I've like told you all my deepest, darkest secrets and you've been there. It's like, dang, maybe I could. still
Yeah,
try
but
to
don't
make-
let yourself talk to them for 4 years without ever seeing them on
Yeah.
video.
Yeah, like how do you get to that point?
Yeah. Which I get
I get lonely. No.
maybe earlier, like in the start of Catfish, because it's a pretty old show, and
the
internet wasn't as developed. Maybe there wasn't it wasn't as easy to video call somebody.
You needed to have Skype, and even that was a stretch sometimes.
Yeah.
Not everyone had a webcam. So yeah, it was definitely a sign of the times. Like nowadays,
But nowadays, there's no excuse for no
really
video
no.
call.
No
yeah, unless
excuses.
you have to be ignorant and like
I
you
don't
have
know.
to believe the false stream.
So at my previous job, we had to download this app, but you had to have it on a smartphone. We hired this guy that didn't even have a smartphone. He had a flip phone, and he's like, I'm going to get a smartphone this weekend just to work at this job.
But how old was he?
He was probably like in his 60s.
He doesn't need a
Oh.
smartphone.
He got to be married. He doesn't need to be chatting online with somebody.
I guess that's true.
I
He's
hope
60 years
happy
old.
At 60.
He literally should be grandfathered into that.
That was a risk. I didn't know if that was the right button.
Dude, if it was crickets, I would just walk out.
I guess it's true. You're not meeting a 25-year-old, 30-year-old, even 35-year-old that doesn't have a smartphone.
Yeah, because
Right.
the people that are catfishing you are pretending to be young, hot chicks.
Yeah, in your area.
In your area. Call now.
Call now.
They want to meet you.
They want to meet you.
1-800. Call now.
Doctors hate this one trick.
I think it's funny how in the show Catfish, like when you find out the person doesn't look how you think, you feel bad for the person that gets catfished. But in Love is Blind, when someone doesn't like how their partner looks, everyone's like, you should
Asshole.
love them for not what they look like, but all the conversations you had. Yeah, everyone's like, you're an asshole for not liking their looks. It's such crazy how the dynamic is entirely different.
But I feel like in Love is Blind, most people are attractive. They may not be your type, but most are not bad looking.
Like
Sometimes.
for TV.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
There's a
they're,
baseline.
they're not Bachelor contestants.
No.
Yeah.
For the Bachelor, Bachelorette, they pick the top of the
Hot.
top.
Yeah, but on Love is Blind, they're both trying to make a connection.
Yeah,
Whereas on Catfish, maybe one person's trying to make a connection and the other person's just like,
a scammer.
yeah, or
A
like
scammer.
they like the attention. They like
Yeah.
talking to someone.
Dude.
No, and definitely in Catfish, you're blatantly lying.
Yeah.
Versus Love is Blind is like, I can't help that I look like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Dude, it was always so sad too when they would confront the catfish and they'd be like, why'd you do it? Like, sometimes it'd be like revenge. Or
Dude,
do you
those
remember?
are always
Yes.
the craziest.
Or they're like, yeah, I mean, for 3 years you're talking to this person. Or they're just like, I was like innocent at first, but then I don't know, I was just bored. And they're just so indifferent and you're like, how could you do this to this person?
I
That's so
know.
sad.
I do think the people that act indifferent on that show are lying. Like, they definitely have an emotional connection, but they're just like trying not to be weird about it on TV, so they act like they didn't care.
But at least a handful of them have to also just be like
Psycho,
sociopaths.
yeah.
Yeah, just like
Maybe.
don't have that gene in them, that emotional thing. Like,
Isn't there like one guy that just gets like super pissed off and he's like, why'd you follow me or something? I remember seeing one.
There's definitely been, I think, at least a few where
Yeah,
people
where they get aggressive.
So pissed. Yeah, I don't know what I would do. What would you guys do? If it was exactly what everyone told you was gonna happen, and you're like, frick.
Well, I think I wouldn't put myself in that situation. Like, how?
Yeah.
I'm not that
Why-
foolish.
Not the
Yeah,
question.
I'm not that
Not the
dumb.
question.
Well, that's my answer.
Wait, what'd she say?
She said she wouldn't be in that situation. But David said not the question. Let's say
Not-
we are bamboozled. We have been bamboozled.
Fuck.
And just be like, fuck, well, time to move on. I would definitely stop talking to that person.
And they check in with them like a month later, and they're like, "Yeah, I actually started talking to them again."
Yeah.
Dude, this whole show, the whole show is
Crazy,
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
But they're so used to talking to each other. They just have that connection, and they're like, I don't even care.
Yeah.
They're like, "We're just friends." It's like, bro, you're gonna meet up with them. Something's gonna happen. I wish so many years later if they did like after the catfish, like 5 years later.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been like over 10 years now, probably.
Yeah.
Catfish reunion.
Catfish reunion.
That would be fun.
That would be crazy. Imagine some people made it.
Yeah, some people became couples afterwards, even though they got catfished. That'd be crazy.
Couldn't it be me?
Probably could be me, to be honest.
Oh my gosh. Do you have something to tell us, David? Do you have
Yeah.
an online girlfriend?
I've been talking to this woman for 7 years. She looks just like the lead singer of the Pussycat Dolls, Nicole Scherzinger. I wish no one would talk to me for that long. The hell.
Oh my gosh.
So one question I have you seen 90 Day Fiance?
Dude, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
What about those people? Like, do they know that they look like what they look like?
What do you mean?
Is there anyone that's like, oh, you're not what I thought you would look like? I don't know. I've never seen the show.
Big neck Ed.
There's no
Well,
catfishes on there.
I don't know how that show works, but they're in person.
Yeah.
So I think the premise of that show is one person is like a U.S. citizen and one person is an immigrant that is in the U.S. and they have 90 days to get married or else like they have to go back to their country.
Sometimes they're still in their country. And I think because there's 90 Day Fiance and then there's after the 90 days or something like that. And I think, or I don't know. I think I've only seen after the 90 days or something.
Oh, yeah. Because I think the point is like they're in the U.S. and then they have 90 days to get married.
Uh-huh.
That's like the whole point of the show. And they're trying to figure out, like they've probably been talking online before then.
Oh, for sure. For like years for the most part.
And like they video time. Like I don't think that's a catfish situation. It's more so
like will they work
now
couple?
that they're in person. They have 90 days to decide whether they're going to get married so that they can stay in the country.
Gotcha.
And the dynamics in those relationships are crazy too, because sometimes they'll come from a lot of times will come from very different cultural backgrounds.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we're texting and on FaceTime. It's like, yeah. But then once they're like, oh, snap, I got to present you to my mom. You're a different religion. And I don't know, just different beliefs. They're like, my mom's not going to want you at all. And they have to try to make love happen.
The other show that's crazy is Married at First Sight.
Ooh, I haven't seen that one.
Have you heard of this show though?
I've heard of
I've
it.
heard
I
the
don't think
name.
I've seen it.
But do you know the premise of
I
it?
don't think so. No.
The premise is there's like matchmakers that are like hosts of the show. And so they go through a bunch of people that apply, look at their kind of like resumes, and then match people up. And those people don't talk to each other until the day they're getting married. So like they meet with the groom standing at the end of the altar and the bride walking down the aisle. And that's the first time they see each other, and they get married right there. And then they have to like live together, and then they decide if they want to stay married or get like a divorce or an annulment.
That's
What?
crazy.
But I think it's a legal marriage right at that time.
Dude, that's...
They're American?
Yeah, and they're both American.
I mean, it works out in India. Works out in other countries.
Arranged
True.
marriages.
Yeah, I guess
But I feel like even with arranged marriages, you still get to talk to them.
With the families.
With
and
arranged
Not
marriages,
always.
I feel like most of the time, at least the families talk and they decide like if they want it to be a match. The families don't talk either. Like the families are all meeting each other for the first time at the wedding.
At least in an arranged marriage, you just get like 2 camels or some shit.
Some sort of dowry.
You're right. Fucking 6 cows. Let's go.
Yeah, I guess that's true because those cases that like families meet, they negotiate, and yeah, sometimes the couple doesn't meet till the day of the marriage, but at least the family's like, oh, we get along.
Yeah.
Right. Or it's like for like in royalty, like political purposes. Like here's the princess of Austria.
Yeah, I think that's a little different.
Yeah.
Still arranged.
Yeah.
And years ago.
But yeah, so that's another show, Married at First Sight.
Couldn't be me.
Could not be me. But going back to like Love is Blind and Catfish, let's say you're talking to someone that you've never met, like let's just say Hinge, right? How long would you want to talk to them before meeting them in person? Before thinking it's like a catfish situation?
Like 3 years probably.
What do you mean? Like what point in time do you start to worry it's a catfish?
Yeah. Let's say you're planning dates and they always cancel, but you've never seen them in person. You've never FaceTime with them.
Well, see, I want to meet as soon as possible.
But like, what is as soon as possible?
Within a week of talking.
Like ideally I talk to someone on Hinge for a week and then they ask me on a date. That's the ideal scenario. But what is the longest time you'll go with talking to somebody until thinking they're a catfish?
And the conversation like over text is going fine.
Probably like a month. Like if I've asked them to meet up at least 3 times and they've said no each time in the month, I'm probably gonna be like, this is a little odd.
Oof.
Let's FaceTime. At least. Even if you can't meet up, let's FaceTime.
Maybe I'm delusional. Because did you bring this up because of my situation before?
Maybe.
Because for some background, as I mentioned, I've been dating and I matched with this guy on Hinge. We had great conversation. We tried to set up a date. He canceled. We tried to set up another date. He canceled again. This was like over the span of 2 weeks of talking. So I was like, hey, if you're going to keep canceling, like, I don't want to talk. Once you're free up and you're not going to cancel, feel free to hit me up and I'll be down to go out. But like, I don't want to keep talking until then. So then we didn't talk for like 2 weeks. And then he messaged me again and we finally set up a date for like 4 days later. And then it actually happened. And
Ill no.
well, it wasn't like a catfish fully. Like, this was the person in their pictures. The pictures were just older. It was a fine date.
But I think that was, I feel like, a good way to handle that situation.
Mhm.
Like, you keep canceling on me, just let me know when you're ready.
Dude, that was
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
actually perfect. Like, direct. I'm still here if you want to, but hit me up when you're ready.
Basically, I was like, no need to keep setting up this imaginary date if you're going to cancel again.
Mhm. So what was that? Like a month? Like a couple weeks?
So like when we matched to when we met was probably like a month and a half.
Okay. Anything that's delusional?
Well, I guess not, because I did put that boundary of like, if we're not going to go on a date, don't talk to me.
And you guys also didn't talk for almost 2 weeks until he reached
Yeah.
back out.
Yeah.
So that's not that crazy.
I guess I handled it well.
You did.
So maybe I wouldn't be so susceptible to a catfish.
6 months. People get busy.
6
No,
months.
maybe
months.
like 3 months though, for real.
6 months would be crazy.
6 months would be
3
crazy.
months, if I was still single, I'd be like, okay. And
Okay, why not?
odds are I'd still be single the way Hinge is going.
Nah, I feel like a month is a good. I'm definitely not like the let's meet right away. I do like to chat, but I think people, that's not the way the game is set up, you know? I think the most successful way is to try to meet within a week
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
get the ball rolling. But I'm like, dude, I like to dilly-dally, you know? Let's chat. Like, tell me your deepest insecurities over text. So
See, there's see, now I have more perspective on this. There's pros and cons. I feel like there's more cons though, which is why I like to meet sooner rather than later, because if you're just messaging for like 2 weeks, there's opportunity for it to get boring. And I feel like a lot of people on the apps tend to just do small talk, which I feel like is the fastest way to get me to not reply, because I'm like, this is so boring. Unless you have someone that's a good texter, which the guy that I waited for a while was a good texter. We had good conversation back and forth. So it made me kind of like keep hope alive. And I was like, oh, well, we've been talking a lot for like this many weeks. It's going to be great. And then it wasn't great in person. And I was like, I just got my hopes up. But it was all through text. Like, it's not real life.
There's someone real at the end of that phone, though.
I mean, yeah, but it wasn't the connection I wanted it to be once we met in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I would want to meet as soon as possible to see how we vibe in person. Because, well, I'm personally just a bad texter and I'm bad at having conversations over messages. So I'm like, what's the point of dragging on a conversation with someone and then you meet them and you're like, I'm not really interested in them. Then you just kind of wasted both of your time.
That's
both
how
of your
I
people's
felt,
time.
that it was like, we didn't need to spend all that time texting.
Yeah,
If we had just gone on a date, I would have known right away it wasn't going to be
right.
anything to move forward with.
Because, like, if we go on a date and then we're both like, oh, you know what? We like each other. Let's keep talking. Now that's different than if we continue talking.
Right. And I also agree. I would like to meet soon rather than later, because I don't want to pen pals. I don't even text back people that I want to text sometimes, let alone someone that I haven't even met.
Yeah.
So.
Damn, I'm a bad texter, but I love me a pen pal. So shit, let's chat. Let's try, because I'm ass at texting, bro.
Yeah, but then why would you want to drag on the conversation through text? You're way funnier in person.
That's
Yes.
true, but
That would be your strength, David.
but that's scary.
It is, but it's like once you rip the Band-Aid, it's not. I don't know. Like, I feel nervous before I go on these first dates, and then once I'm there, I'm like, oh, I got this.
It's not that scary. Imagine a time you were out at the bar and you just talked to a random stranger there.
Yeah,
It's like
I
the
mean,
same.
even the first dates that I've been on, they're always fun. I always have a
Yeah.
good time.
And then it's also, once you get used to going on first dates, they're not that scary anymore.
Yeah.
I always get anxious.
Yeah. Well, I had 2 first dates like back to back one weekend, so I was like, I'm not nervous for the second one anymore.
You were warmed up.
I was warmed up.
Oh yeah.
It's like interviews. The more you do it, the better you get at it. The
Yeah,
more comfortable
that's
you are
true.
with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's why you would want to meet with them sooner rather than later, so that way you have a bunch of different topics
Yeah.
to kind of talk about. Because if you're texting back and forth, then what do you talk?
You're already going to know
person.
everything. What do you talk about in person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because there was this one person that I matched with. I think we were both bad at texting because we would go days or even weeks without texting. But then someone would reply, and it was like good banter.
Mm-hmm.
And then somehow, I guess I mustered up the courage, like, yo, let's hang out this week. And then it happened. It was a good date. And then they moved away forever. So that was cool.
So that was cool.
So, but that's why I'm like, oh, I don't mind dilly-dallying. It's like, yeah,
Well,
kind of
that
happens when it happens.
just
But it was like a
ended
unique
up working
situation.
out. But I feel
Yeah.
like that's not the common situation. Is that the girl that gave you the book?
Yeah. And I'll never give it away. That is my keepsake forever.
Oh my gosh.
It was a good book.
The one that got away.
The one that got away. Damn, fucking, I had to go to fucking a cool country that's not the U.S. Fuck.
She moved out of the country?
Well, just like for like teach English.
Oh,
In
okay.
another country.
Well, still.
Oh, that's fucking dope.
You drove her out of the country. Damn.
Damn.
She's like, shit.
She's like, worst first date ever.
Ever.
I'm living.
Or she might be the one. That happened to my friend. He was talking to this girl, and they ended up breaking up because she was moving to Spain for 2 years to study. And in that 2 years, they kept talking.
Interesting.
She came back, and they were like engaged within like a month or two of her coming back.
Shit.
Okay, but David has not continued talking to this girl.
Oh.
They went on one date.
Hasn't been 2 years. Chill out.
But you have to keep talking to her.
This might be your sign to reach out to her.
Maybe.
And you have seen each other in person, so you know it's not a catfish. So you can build the pen pal feelings.
That
Maybe.
you love.
True.
Send her a message right now.
Hell no. Hell no. I don't know what country she's in. I don't know what the text rate charges are. I don't want her to get a
Okay.
fucking...
It's iMessage. She has Wi-Fi, I'm
Right.
sure.
Is she on Instagram?
WhatsApp,
Right.
Facebook message.
Shit.
Snapchat.
Ooh.
Way to get that far, bro.
Oh my gosh. Do you guys have a go-to first message you send on Hinge? Or like a good first message you think for dating apps?
ASL.
What?
What?
It's like,
American Sign Language?
no.
So confused.
It's like Omega, like age, sex, location. No. It's like obviously Columbus, bro, too.
The answer is no. I want them to message me first.
See, that's ideally what happens, but most of the time they don't. So I need to start messaging people first.
Please
and
do.
I need a good intro message.
See, I like spend all my time on Bumble, but they changed the rules recently where now guys can send a message first, and I think that's so dumb. The reason I signed up is so the women can message me first.
What were they sending you?
Hey. Women are the worst. They're like the boringest thing. They're like, oh, they're so fucking boring.
Well, I mean, at least with Bumble, if they send a hey, now that opens the door to you messaging back.
But
Yeah,
you
but
gotta
then
have a good response.
exactly.
now.
And I'm just like,
Hey,
I always say
you?
howdy, and I don't think they like that.
Oh no! I was
No,
work.
what's wrong with howdy? That is good.
Well, because it's like a little more lax than just a hey or how you been. Like,
Sometimes I say hiya.
ooh,
HIYA.
I might try
God
that.
no!
But it's like I just hate that the first message can be like hey, like the most boring, and then it's like I
Yeah.
gotta come in some fire.
They don't even say, hey, how's it going?
No, it's literally just hey.
That's the worst.
It's
See,
like I think it's like they
Do
do
they
it
put
so that
emoji?
no sometimes
dry as heck.
so that the message doesn't expire, but it's like they're still waiting for
You to send
say something
basically
like,
the first message.
be like damn, did you just fall out of heaven because damn your fucking face is fucked up. I'm gonna try that.
And they'll be like, wait, I think I got the line wrong.
Wait.
See, you just got to come up with the opening message because that's a good spot because first you have to match with someone
Mhm.
and second they have to message you. So now that they message you, you know that they're interested. So that should take some pressure off.
But it's just like what do I say every time?
I feel like it's always nice when they message something that relates to your profile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do try
Yes,
to do
that is
that
nice.
if they have something interesting on their profile.
Even if it's not interesting.
But a lot of
Yeah.
times they don't have something I can relate to that I don't want to add. Like, typical Sunday, go to the gym, clean. Me too, haha. Like, what? I don't know. There's nothing I can respond to that.
The one that gets me hits is the photo with Andre 3000, and like it's always is that Andre 3000? And I'm like, yeah, it is.
And then they never.
And then
That's
they
it.
respond. I'm like, fuck.
They just wanted to know. Genuine question.
Yeah, I'm like shit. Yeah, I should be like, Hey, yeah.
Bless you.
Shake it like a Polaroid.
So just say shake it like a Polaroid and then say, does that answer your question?
Like, shake what?
Recently, this guy had a video of him juggling on his profile. So I did send the first message and I said, I'm actually really impressed with the juggling.
Oh.
See, that would be...
See?
Yeah. And then he's like, do you know how to juggle? I was like, absolutely not, but I wish.
That's why I'm impressed.
Yeah,
You
that's
could
why
have
I'm
said, but
impressed.
can you teach me?
Yeah, that's the next thing. But he asked me about my favorite Excel formula. So now that's the next question I got to answer.
You're like, equals sum.
A1 plus B1.
Yeah. I feel like that's probably the best opener is something related to their profile, because then it shows that you're actually
That you at least
have some
went
interest.
through it.
Yeah.
Even if it's not something you'd be interested in.
Yeah.
At least it opens up for the conversation.
Yeah. Opens up the door. Get a little chit chat. Hey, want to get some drinks?
Maybe I should treat it like an interview, like you're saying. And instead of asking a question where the answer is what matters, it's how they get to the answer that matters. So just like match with someone and be like, how many tennis balls do you think fit in a limo? And then they got to tell me how they got to that answer.
This is an interview now.
And then we fall in love. Yeah, I knew she was the one when she said 892 tennis balls.
Honestly, I don't think that's a bad question, but
You're hired for my boyfriend, for my girlfriend.
Would you hate it if you got that
Yes.
question? I would hate it if I got that question.
Yes. I would have so many questions and none of them would answer the question being asked.
but if you're asking questions, you're responding.
Right. Standard tennis ball or
But I probably wouldn't even respond. I would just exit out.
No, I probably wouldn't even respond because in my mind, I'm like, he's trying too hard to be quirky.
yeah.
That's how it comes across.
Well, see, that's why none of my messages go nowhere. Also, to be fair, the way I typed, I think throws people off because
Because you still capitalize.
every time.
They're like, AI.
Oh,
They
dude.
probably think you're a
They probably
robot,
think I'm a bot.
David.
That's true.
Ah.
But yeah, it'll sometimes it'll be, oh, the battery's good, and then it's like, why is it's always like the fourth
That's
message.
true. Okay.
Why is every first letter of your thing capitalized?
They ask you that.
Yes, directly. And the last one that I sent where they stopped messaging, I was just like, it's just something I do. It's dumb, but I like it. And then boom.
You should say like, I don't know, it's a habit I picked up in middle school and I can't stop.
So that was my answer at first. Well, I didn't say I can't stop because I can,
No.
but I won't. I
Chooses
haven't.
not to.
It's been what, like
See,
fucking 15 years.
If someone was messaging me capitalizing the first letter of every word, I would probably stop. Too.
Dude.
Me
I don't
too.
know why.
Hell no.
It's
But
like it's like ick. It's like
Yes,
ick
it's like
the
Nick.
ick.
Ooh.
But it's the ones that worked out are the ones who powered through. So.
You're
It's like a
weeding them
test,
out.
exactly. I'm like the fucking intro to chemistry class. Either you get it or you don't, baby. You're not pre-med anymore, boo boo.
Oh my gosh.
So I guess I have one. So let's say you go out on a few days with the person and they ghost you.
Ooh.
Yes. And
Are you
then-
also bringing this up because of me?
No, it's because of me. So they ghost you for a while. Let's say 7 months. Would you answer back if they texted you and just say, hey, do you want to catch up or something? After 7 months of not talking at all. And you also don't follow them on social media, so you have no idea what's going on.
Well, what was our relationship like 7 months ago? like
you went out on a few days, had a fun conversation.
are we kissing and stuff before then?
Yeah, before the ghosting, yes.
Then I'm responding.
Like they message you after 7 months. out of
After 7
nowhere?
months, yes. And they're like, hey.
Yeah, I mean, if it didn't end on bad terms and we had fun times before,
But
I
he
would-
just ghosted you.
yeah, I would still hang out.
Yeah, I probably would still hang out too.
I got a message for that. They say, yo, you want to catch up? Girl, I ain't trying to catch up unless you're trying to throw down. And that's that.
Okay, but I think the vibes is you're gonna throw down.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm answering the message.
Shit. Shit.
I answered the message.
Where you been looking?
In case they were wondering.
Nothing wrong with that. If you're still single.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of the situationship I had earlier this year that we haven't talked in months. If he messaged me,
Mm,
I would respond. I'd be like, let's hang out.
shit. Let's catch up in person. What do you think about that?
Let's go for a ride. He has a motorcycle. Why not?
Hey.
Why not?
Popping wheelies.
No, I don't like that. I don't. I think he did pop a wheelie once when I was on the bike. I hated it.
You're like, ah, ah, ah. Your
to
head's
kill
like
me.
close to the ground. Ah.
Yeah, we're only human.
We're
Yahoska.
only human. You know what? We went out to eat, and the free dinner was great too. We went to Bakersfield. It was my first time there, but it was good.
Yeah. Plus, if it's someone that didn't end on bad terms, you're already comfortable with them.
Right.
So.
We're only humans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a man.
I'm just a girl.
Okay. Well, I had one more topic that also related to reality TV. As the listeners might know, we all watch The Bachelorette, and we make a bracket. So we always analyze the contestants. And on this season, there was a contestant named Sam M. And Sam M.
Oh.
My
Was-
boy.
Yahoska, control yourself. He is very attractive, but he gives off big fuckboy vibes, big toxic energy.
Mm-hmm.
But he's really hot. Gives off big, what's the word? Sexual attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone you just want to jump his bones.
Rattle his bone. Rattle him up.
Even though he's so toxic, he could get away with anything. He's so good looking, he could get away with anything.
Anything.
Yahoska will let him do anything. But it's just a phenomena that we talked about once when we went out a couple weeks ago. The fuckboys can get away with anything if they're hot enough.
If they're hot enough. And this guy has like a bunch of tattoos. Sam M.
Mm-hmm.
He looks so good.
Dude, but seeing him scramble, because I just caught up to the last week's episode,
Yeah.
dude is dumb as a box of rocks.
Absolutely.
God damn.
Oh, yeah.
Or has never had an emotional connection to anything in his life.
But the looks.
That was crazy.
The looks make up for it.
Well, I was saying, and the way he was handling it on national television, I was like, oh, every time he said these exact, because she would ask him a question and he would not respond at all, but just like spin it. I was like, oh, he's resorting to this because every time he's used this before, it's worked 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like, God, that must be nice.
Yeah, 100% he gets away with it every time. The only reason he's not is because this is a show where you got to find a husband.
Yes.
So she's not going for the sounding pretty, looking pretty answers.
And
She was digging a little deeper.
I think if it was off camera, probably would have fallen for it too, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because she kept saying like, oh, this is like past relationships.
I think she didn't want to look like a fool on national TV
Yeah.
by picking him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if I was her and I wasn't on TV, I'd be like, yes.
Yes.
Oh, he gonna thrive on Paradise.
I would like, tell me more.
Yeah. I think the key is also with fuckboys that are hot, don't go into deep conversations. You got to keep everything surface level.
Honestly, yes. So the one guy that texted me after 7 months, I don't even know much about him. Which is like our conversations were very superficial.
Mm-hmm.
But he uses Chanel Blue. Say less.
So I could smell him walk into a room from a mile away.
She's like, I know that. I know that smell.
That smelly smell that smells smelly. Well, obviously, you want our opinions because we're some real fuckboys that are so fucking hot. So obviously, I say whatever the hell I want, and they come crawling back every time. Obviously, every woman I've ever talked to, I have them wrapped around my finger like a Chinese finger trap, and they won't let go until I dive in, and they're like, whoa, you shared too much. I'm gone. Obviously. It gets tiring, you know? Breaking all these hearts.
Is there a thing for girls? You know?
Yeah, is that a thing for girls?
Is that a thing for girls?
What?
Like if a girl is just hot as hell, that you let her do anything, walk all over you, treat you like poop.
Yeah. Yeah, I want them to walk all over. I want them to stomp. I want them to jump up and down and just rattle my bones.
I feel like the girls at that level can get more and give less.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Like versus the guy, a fuckboy.
You think the girls have more power than a fuckboy?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I don't know. I think fuckboys have a lot of power because
They do.
girls are easily swooned, easily swayed to go back to somebody.
Easy to be delusional.
Yeah, easy to be delusional, easy to compromise. I know I would be.
Same.
And honestly, I wouldn't be mad about it. If the guy's that hot, okay, I'm fine with it.
It's fine. It's
You can
fine.
do whatever you want.
And I feel like most girls know that that's just like a fuck boy situation.
Yeah. Like, I
But-
wouldn't expect
Like, I
it to
feel
go
like-
anywhere serious. It'd be
Right,
like,
and
we're
I-
just having fun. It's shits and giggles.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
there's a lot of women though, maybe not y'all, that are like, I can change him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
absolutely. I'm still going to be delusional.
Not me though. Not me.
You're not?
No.
I don't know about that.
You don't know me like that. Well, would you double text a fuck boy? So I got ghosted. I never double texted him.
No, I wouldn't, actually.
So then you're
You're
not that delusional.
Yeah, but in my head, I'd be like, maybe he'll change for me. Not that I could change him, but I'm like, maybe he'll change for me.
It's like, damn, I can't wait to text this other girl.
In reality, I would know it's never going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I just think it's like renting a luxury car.
Right, when you're with a girl like that, that's not your girl. It's just your turn.
Oh my god.
Oh, dang.
That was
Just-
deep.
Who hurt you?
Let's not even go there. Just some woman and just turned me into this handsome fuckboy that I become. The one who can never be tied down. But no, there's definitely some chicks if they were like, hey, I'm in town, what's up? I'd be like, I'm kind of free all the time, to be honest with you. Can I pick you up from the airport?
What's the farthest you would drive to go see a girl?
They drive to me, bro.
Okay.
Oh, dang.
The farthest I would drive to go see a girl, maybe like 8 hours. That sounds crazy.
That, I feel like that's not true.
It's like a 1 day's worth trip. If it's like a floor, well, not true that I would do it.
Yeah. I feel like you've not recently. I don't know.
Say it.
You know what I'm talking about?
What?
Didn't you have like someone from you used to date in college that lives in like New York? You never drove to go see her.
Shit, dude. I got close to thinking about it. Recently. Like, shit, dude, maybe I should pop in. Well, if I was invited, obviously.
What's the furthest that you've actually driven? Not hypothetical.
Okay, so I didn't drive in college. So I didn't drive till I was 23. But there was a sad friend of mine who I did fly out to go visit. But then she also did drive up from the DC area up to upstate New York, and that was like a 7-hour drive. And she did it twice one summer.
So where were you flying to?
Oh, I had like like those camps I would do.
Yeah.
So I had one that was nearby, and I like flew to her, hung out, and then.
I thought you were saying you flew to upstate New York and then she drove there. I was like, why
No,
wouldn't
no,
you
no,
just
no.
fly?
No, I
closer
was
to
in Ithaca for the summer,
her? Okay.
and so she just like visited me.
Oh, so you really do got them driving to you.
That's what I'm
He ain't
saying.
lying.
So if someone said like, "Hey, what's up?" I might be like, "Shit, I didn't drive back then, but I drive now, baby. I drive now. I drive for work, to be honest with you. I'll get over there. I'll find my way over there. I'll fancy running into you, yeah."
Oh my gosh. Okay, Yahoska, as a girl, what's the farthest you drive to hang out with someone?
25 minutes.
Hang out with a man. 25 minutes.
25 minutes. She's like, I'm calling it there.
Grove City's as far as I'll go.
Hell yeah.
So in the past, I saw my ex in Mexico once, and so I flew to Mexico to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Did he pay for it?
No, I did.
Did he invite you down, or you just went to visit him?
Yeah, I went to visit, but it was a fun time. So we
Wait,
went to.
did he invite you though?
Yeah,
Oh,
of
okay,
course.
okay.
She's like, oh,
I
what
don't
the
just
hell?
I don't just show up in Mexico and be like, hey, I'm outside. No. But the furthest I would drive for someone would probably be an hour and a half.
Okay.
That's a reasonable. That's
But
a
no, you
reasonable
guys,
drive.
you guys want to hear a crazy story?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was seeing this one guy from my hometown, and he didn't have a car.
Oh, I've heard this.
So my hometown is like an hour and a half away from here. So there was a few times that he actually took that Greyhound bus
Damn.
to come to Columbus, and I would pick him up at the bus station.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
You're right.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Resourceful.
I thought you told me you went and picked him up and would drive him to Columbus.
I have that too. Yeah, it's an hour and a half.
Damn, 3
Damn.
hours
But then that's
for a
3
man.
hours.
Yeah,
round
because you
trip.
gotta drive him back.
When
Drop
I
his
say
ass
round
off.
trip, guys.
Well, that's 6 hours. Wait, were you driving to your hometown, then to Columbus, and then taking him back to your hometown, and then
then-
coming back to
Wow.
No, that's a 3-hour drive.
So 8 hours is not
That's
as crazy
6
as it
hours.
sounds.
That's 6 hours. However, so like we wouldn't. He'd stay here for like a few days, and then whenever I would go back, I would visit my family.
Yeah, that's
So I would
true.
make a trip out of it.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not that crazy.
She's like, hey guys, bye.
See, I would consider that at 3 hours because it's like you do the drive there and back.
Yeah,
Well, but then she had to drop him back off.
Yeah.
but
That's
that's, a
another
different
trip.
day.
That's a different day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you said, he would stay a few days.
I ain't gonna hate on that hustle though. I respect it.
Yeah, I think the farthest I would drive for someone that I'm not official boyfriend girlfriend with would be like an hour and a half, an hour 20 minutes.
Round trip?
around there. What do you mean? Yeah, just total an hour and a half.
Damn.
But if we're boyfriend girlfriend, that's different. Then we're more committed. I'll do some more driving.
You, Oscar?
The most I would probably do is an hour. Like
Not even an hour and a half.
Not even an hour and a
No.
half.
like an hour there and an hour back. That's already 2 hours.
So 2 hours round trip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you sure about that?
I'm saying if I were to do that now, if it's more than an hour, I'm flying.
What?
What?
What if it's in Cleveland? You can't fly to Cleveland from here.
Okay.
I fly from Cleveland or Columbus to Atlanta to Cleveland.
Dude, right.
The new job is paying off, huh?
But no, I've driven to Virginia for sure before. And that's like 8 hours.
Doesn't sound crazy now, doesn't it? 8 hours. Just a little bit ago, we said it sound crazy.
That's like a weekend trip, honestly.
Well, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a day trip. Come on, just show up, stay. It had to be like it'd have to be a long weekend. It had to be Memorial Day, Labor Day.
True.
Like if
Yeah.
it's a day trip, yeah, and like an hour, 2 hour round trip.
I'd do an hour and a half there and back, if it was like for a day.
Yeah.
Get up early, have fun.
I guess I have done an hour and a half round trip before.
You guys are just better than me. That's fine.
Why? 'Cause
You guys are willing to drive less. than I have.
we said an hour and a half. That's like the same.
Bro, I
Well,
said
but
8
mine's
hours.
Oh, wait, did you say 8 hours?
Bro, I'm over here
Oh,
preaching.
I
man.
thought you were joking.
No, well,
Oh,
no. For love, come on. No.
for love.
For a throwdown, why not?
Yeah, I guess if I was like more serious with the person, I would consider.
8 hours. Well, you'd already have.
At this point, if it's 8 hours, I'm flying there.
Okay.
Okay.
But I would drive 2 hours, 4 hour round trip.
Like a neighboring state,
Yeah.
Nah, hit up Pennsylvania.
Like if I'm just talking to someone on Hinge or Bumble or whatever, yeah,
No.
hour or less.
Let's meet halfway.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we're definitely meeting halfway then.
Yeah. What if it's a fuckboy?
Oh, You just threw a wrench in the fucking
It's a
thing.
fuck boy. I don't know.
Sam M
I'ma
texts
act
you.
up.
Sam M says, pull up.
Sam M
Sam
texts you.
Pull up. I'll make your dreams come true for a weekend.
He's like, I'm in Florida. Pull up. Are you going to
Are
Florida?
you driving?
I'm not driving, but let me get my passport ready.
He said all the airports are closed. You pulling up? Babe, pulling up.
Why would they be closed?
There's a hurricane.
There's a hurricane, but you can drive through the hurricane
Hell no.
if you want this Sam money.
It's to be like, IT systems are down again. Crowd strike.
Yeah. But you can always drive.
Not me here thinking, would I do that?
Maybe not Florida, but if he's like in Tennessee, that's closer.
Dude, Nashville's fun as hell too.
Yeah. Good time.
Good time. But would you do that if it's like the first time meeting him? Probably not.
No, it's probably not even him. It's probably a catfish.
That's true, yeah. That's a full circle right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Not the first time,
Not the first time, but the second time.
but the second time.
Then you really threw a wrench in it when you
Yeah.
said, what about Sam?
Shit. That changes everything.
It does. It really does.
And funny enough, I don't even think he's my type.
But you still find him hot.
Absolutely.
All I'm learning from this conversation is why drive? Be a fucking bum. Some girl will come pick you up and you'll be fine. Or some girl will come drive to you when you don't even have a license. Damn.
Play your cards right.
Dude.
Dang.
When I was a bum, I was getting some big, and now look at me.
Oh my God.
Responsible. Alone.
No hoes.
No hoes.
Dude.
Just bills.
I feel like it is a thing that like girls will settle for bums or broke guys as long as they're nice and they talk to them consistently.
Dude. Well, when you
The
don't,
bar is so low.
when you're a bum and you got all this time to just schmooze your girl, come on, dude, that's
Right.
easy money,
The
dude.
bar is on the floor, you guys. It's that low.
And you're playing limbo because damn, you bending over backwards for that.
Yes.
Just be nice enough or funny enough or hot enough.
Dude, oh, hard enough. That's the cheat code right there. I would know. No.
Yeah, nice, funny, hot.
Just pick two of the three.
I guess I'm nice and funny. Fuck.
All right, everybody. We're going to wrap up this episode. Thank you all for listening. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Eating Good Pod, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
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 You know what? We didn't even mention that we were sitting on the bed.
We were too comfy. I like the setup though. It's not
That was
bad.
nice.
I feel like it's a little more comfortable. We're a little more relaxed.
Yeah.